Hello everyone, my name is Stephen Parker and this is Heritage Explorers, exploring our forgotten heritage. And what we decided to do is explore really nice locations of historical interest along the Manchester, Bolton and Bury Canal. And today we're not far from Ladyshore, which is Little Lever in Bolton. And I'm actually stood, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually stood on a brick dam. And if you look to my right, you will notice that the canal's in water, and it's in water from this point all the way to Welton at Bury. I know you've got an obstruction at Water Lane in Ratcliffe, and it's an absolutely fascinating area. I'm not going to talk about it on this episode, but a short walk up the canal that way, you've got the site of Ladyshore Colliery that closed in 1949. And it basically, not only did it build, but it maintained its own colliery fleet. But that's for next time. So you're probably wondering, well, what's of interest with a brick dam? But it's only when you look to my left, you will notice that the other side of the dam, the canal is dry. So to put it in context, one side in water, one side dry, separated by a brick dam. And you might ask yourself, well, why is that the case? Like, why does the water not continue? And there is a reason for that. And the reason being, back in July 1936, the canal burst a short distance down the canal. And if you're more interested in that, you can watch our little YouTube video about that. But, and this is the reason we're here today. Canal's dry, overgrown, and from here onwards, for many years, it was owned by Trinity Paper Mills or William Broadbent and Sons. And they actually owned the canal all the way from this point at the dam down to the top of Knob End Locks, Lock 17. Yeah. But like quite recently, Trinity Paper Mills, which were a wonderful place, you know, manufacturing paper from the 1600s, that finally shut, and that were a few years back. And then what happened is Wilson Homes, quite a big housing developer if you want to call that, bought the site. So not only did they get the site of what was Trinity Paper Mills, they also got a good section of canal. So from this point onwards, all the way past the beach to the top of Knob End Locks, it's now owned by Wilson Homes. And you'll probably think, well, what's that got to do with canal? You know what I mean? What's an housing developer? But, and this is a but, yeah? Owner, Wilson Homes, they applied for planning permission to develop the site of what was Trinity Paper Mills and building the houses. And they also wanted to develop the field at the side of the canal at the Salt Harbour, which is near Hall Lane in Little Lever. It was knocked back. You know, we won't talk about that too much today, but basically planning permission were refused and then they appealed. And what's happened is they've won the appeal. So what it means in terms of the canal, yeah, Wilson Homes have got planning permission to build the homes, not only on the Trinity Paper Mill site, but at Hall Lane. But there's a condition in the planning, and that condition is the Manchester Bolton Bury Canal. And what they've promised to do is this dry section of canal from where we stood all the way to the top of Knob End Locks, they plan to re-water it, which is wonderful. And you might think, well, that's great, but what about the beach? Yeah, and I say that's quite a good question. And this is the thing about it, is not only are they going to re-water this section of canal, they intend to basically repair the beach. And I think they plan to do that. It's not to build the canal at the full width like it used to be, but to kind of come into hillside, dig the hillside out a little bit, like a restricted concrete channel. So they'll probably like fill the beach in, but you'll have like you say, you probably only get two boats side by side around this channel. So, you know, like, if we come to this spot, maybe what, a couple of years, yeah, I might be kind of like floating in water, you know what I mean, like swimming in canal, because this dam won't be here, and you might have boats coming along, you know what I mean, which would be great. And can you imagine if this actually comes off, you'd be able to board a boat near the former Hall Lane Aqueduct, Little Lever Bolton, and you could come all the way down here and float to the obstruction at Water Lane in Ratcliffe. And if we could tackle that, you'd literally go all the way to Welton at Bury. Now, wouldn't that be wonderful? Amazing.